Reggie,
Yeah.
you know what bothers me the most is that they've interviewed everybody that was in Vegas doing Pac's what happened, and nobody ever interviewed me. I'm the one that called Sharitha in the yellow tape to tell her what happened. I'm the one that called Daz. He was sleeping on my mother's floor to let them know what had just happened.
Okay.
The only me and Nate Dogg and his girlfriend, we were all there. We were on our way to 662, and all I know is when I entered in 662, I think Craig Mack was performing, and all I seen was security guards running out. And you know me, I was nosy back then. I'm still nosy. And I'm like, where are they going? Because all I know is we had just left in front of the Lexar with the boys. So I'm like, I'm about to follow them because something ain't right. It's taking the boys too long to get here. Soon I circled back. I kind of just backtracked where I came from. And as you got closer, all you heard was sirens, 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 sirens. And it scared the shit out of me. And once I hit that corner, they were just putting the yellow tape up. And I had that Suburban, and I drove the Suburban through the yellow tape, and all I just remember was the Outlaws were kind of lined up there. They were crying. And I bust through there, and I think I almost hit a cop. And I got into the yellow tape, and I'm shaking, and I'm like, I'm shaking. And all I hear are cars coming by while we're in this yellow tape, sitting ducks. All they were saying is, fuck y'all from death row. That's what y'all motherfuckers get. Fuck y'all. And I'm thinking everybody loves us. But they didn't. They were, and at that moment, I'm like, we got to get up out of here. And Nate Dogg, I think his girlfriend was with me at that moment. He said, let's go. We're going back to the hotel. We're going to get all our stuff out. We came out that hotel. Nate had 2 fofos tucked in his belt. We got to get out of there. We got to get out of here. We got to get out of here because we didn't know where it was coming from. And we got to the Las Vegas, California line, and we all fell asleep in front of that temperature gauge. And I will never remember that because, I will always remember that because that was the last time I talked to Pac. I remember him coming downstairs and he had the jersey on, and that was the last time that we spoke. And I flew back up the next day to Vegas. Kadada picked me and Snoop's mom and Snoop's aunt Gail up from the airport, and we had a vigil that night at the hospital. And I just knew he was going to be okay, and he wasn't. And it hurt so bad. I mean, it still hurts because it felt like I was one of the last people that were girl-wise from the death row that that got to say something to him. And it hurt. It hurt. Yeah. It hurt real bad.
Yeah. Well, if you listen to this community, you'll hear that Yo-Yo and all of them say they was in the hospital and talking to him, and he was responding back to him, which we know is not true. I know.
I remember. Let me tell you, that hospital. It was. Kadada picked us up in the limo, and it's me, Snoop's mom, and Gail, and we still, security was so tight. I know who was in that hospital. I know Danny Boy was over there crying. I can visualize everything. I had a bouquet for Athene, and she gives me a hug, and I remember everybody that was around, and it always puzzles me on interviews when I hear people lying. I mean, it bothers me to no end because the people were there, and I'm like, but no, you weren't. I'm like, I had a room that Death Row booked at the Lexar that night. And I called Sharitha to let her know that her daughter was okay because Arian had rolled down there with them. And I called Daz. And I'm like, well, it was so many people placed there. I'm like, no. Yeah, Arian rolled down there with me. And then y'all dropped her off at Michelle's house. And the first thing I called when I was in that yellow tape, I called Sharitha, and she screamed, "Is my baby? Where's my baby?" Because and I'm like, no, she was not in the car. No. And after that call, it was to my mother, and she said Daz was sleeping on the floor. My daughter had a room there, and she woke him up, and all I heard was a big old screech, "No!" And he took off out the house. Those are the only 2 people I called, and I know who was there Nate Dogg was there. His bodyguard, me and his girlfriend Tasha were there that night. The only dog pound related people that were in Vegas that night only.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And I look at these interviews, Reggie, and and I read books, and it baffles me because I'm like, was I there, or what? Stories, everything. Everybody wants to be placed there, but